The NSE ASI index closed down again, this time by 0.38% to 37,145 points. Losers on the day include Guinness, Julius Berger, Cadbury, Guaranty Trust Bank and Dangote Sugar, while some of the session's worst performers were Total, Nestle, CAP, MRS and Okomo Oil. A strong Q2 earnings numbers from the market heavyweight Dangote Cement failed to lift sentiment at the local bourse today as it recorded six straight sessions of losses on weak risk appetite. Well, Jimmy Ogbobene, head of research at Consolidated Discounts, joins me now to give his own perspective on market sentiment this week. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for joining us.
Thank you, Esther. How are you?
I'm great. Now, it's been a very bearish time for the market this week. And the market was already trading in negative territory before the outcome of that MPC meeting. And now we're looking at a negative close for the week. And of course, we know that the market shrugged off the earnings and of course focused on more bearish trade.
Hello? Sorry, I didn't get the latter part of your question. Sorry.
Okay, well, let's talk about trading for this week. We're looking at bearish numbers right from Monday, 6 straight sessions of uninterrupted losses. Give us your own view of what trading sentiment was like for this week.
Well, it's quite clear. Trading sentiments were largely driven by the MPC. You know, I'd already said before now that this session of the MPC, the July session of the MPC, will be the most anticipated meeting in about 2 years because the market knew something was going to be done. The market imagined that a monetary policy option was going to be used to stem the instability in the Naira, but no one actually saw this 50% happen on public sector deposits. So that's been the major news that's been driving the markets this week. But after the weekend, there'll be more analysis, there'll be more thoughtfulness, and eventually people will start analyzing stock for their own strengths and start looking at prices that may have gone into discount and where there's still value, and so by next week, you actually expect some repricings after all.
Now, Jimmy, obviously the earnings season, second quarter earnings season has been overshadowed by that MPC outcome and the run we saw in the banking sector. And now, looking at strong numbers from Dangote Cement, wasn't that enough in your own view to at least lift market sentiment today? I mean, Dangote, the most capitalized stock on the exchange, reporting very impressive numbers for the second quarter of this year.
Yeah, on the back of the Dangote Cement result, I think that alone should be able to lift prices in Dangote Cement. But, there's this head mentality in the market. So if everyone is selling, you've got to see value for value's sake. And you've got to have conviction in the quality of value you're looking at. So looking at the Dangote Cement, for instance, the result was quite impressive. A 29% rise in revenue. And very importantly, a 29% rise in actual sales and sales volume. So beyond revenue rise, sales volume. So it just tells you the whole Dangote expansion story is just coming out alive. It's coming out, as planned. And then you now merge that with the new announcements that Dangote Cement in Cameroon may come on stream by January. So ordinarily, you expect that should lift results. But that's why I said for this week, it's an MPC week. So hopefully next week, you expect these things to actually start materializing.
Now, still talking about Dangote's numbers, will this make you review your forecast for this stock in terms of its income growth going forward, looking at this rapid expansion and these very strong numbers that we're looking at?
Yes, actually, yes. But, I still have this mindset that, okay, the company is still susceptible to political risk around some of the countries it's invested in. You agree with me that right now they're having some problems in Senegal, and it's going to come. In Cameroon, for instance, they've also had some problems, and I knew there were some squabbles about the land ownership. So you continue to find these pockets of trouble here and there. But remember that the two biggest markets for Dangote Cement right now is South Africa and Nigeria, and these are quite free of political issues or court wrangling. So these are going quite well. So as long as the Nigerian and South African stories still go very well, with time, the other African countries would probably be pressured into wanting to bring on more Dangote investment. So you're a winner when you allow Dangote come in, and you're a loser when you give him trouble. So basically, I think long-term outlook on the stock is still quite positive.
Let's talk about the petroleum marketing index. So we're looking at Forte Oil. Of course, we saw Forte Oil in a streak of winning sessions this week. We're also looking at strong numbers from its second quarter result. A revenue up at 59.6 billion, up 20.6%. And of course, we saw a lot of positioning this week on this stock, and that seemed to have created a bandwagon effect where we saw other stocks like Forte, like Corn Oil and MRS also advancing this week. Does that also change your own outlook for Forte Oil going forward?
Yeah, my outlook on Forte Oil, I'll say this, and there's still a lot of risk perception with that stock. So let's divorce it. So let's divorce the company from the stock. The stock will continue to suffer from some risk associated with the major principle around Forte Oil. And irrespective of what people say, it only takes one extra bad news from the principle around Forte Oil to drive into the stock's valuation. So as an investor, I'll still have that mindset, and I would always play in Forte Oil with that perception that, look, there could be price drops tomorrow. So I'll probably not put it in my bucket of fundamental stocks. I'll still put it in the bucket that has speculative names and hold on for another 12 to 18-month period. So I'd rather have a 12 to 18-month outlook before I rebalance Forte Oil from speculative into fundamental.
Now, obviously, this week has been 1 week of profit taking for investors. Now, going into the new week, of course, earnings continue. We're expecting more earnings from key sectors of the market. Do you think that perhaps investors can shake off this bearish mood experience this week and, of course, look on the brighter side and look at the fundamentals of more of the companies that will be reporting numbers?
So far, so good. All the numbers seem pleasant. I mean, the real sector companies, the Forte Oil we just talked about, the Dangote Cement, the Nestle, they released good results. The banks have also released good results. You saw Fidelity's numbers. So it's very difficult to argue against these results. It's very difficult to argue in favor of a bearish run at this point in time when everything seems to be just good in terms of the performance of the stocks themselves. So at some point in time, the bearish run is going to stop. Some analysis will be done on this very positive result, and I believe investors will buy into the results at some point, especially when the likes of GT and maybe Access declare interim dividends, and that just gives investors some more appetite for speculation that look beyond good numbers. There could also be dividend payouts in this quarter.